welcome to our Friday afternoon broadcast. Today is July the 7th, I believe, right?
No.
6th?
6th.
Sorry about that.
It is the 6th.
Today we will be talking about exogenous versus endogenous, or exogenous and endogenous ketones, and how endogenous ketones work in our body and how exogenous ketones work in our body. And Michael and I will share some of our personal experiences and why we believe utilizing both is definitely to our advantage, and how supplementation with exogenous ketones, when done properly, can really enhance what it is that we're doing with our fasting, our feasting, our fitness, and our overall health and well-being. If you are new to joining us, my name is Diane, and this is
Michael.
And we share what it is that we're doing in our intermittent fasting and our keto-like lifestyle, not only with ourselves, but with our family here on this page. So we are super excited to have you jump on board with us. Our goal is to really help all of our followers understand that you can take advantage of intermittent fasting, so fasting within a 24-hour period, and living a keto-like lifestyle, which basically just means that you're living a life where you're very in tune and conscious about what you are putting in your body nutrient-wise, and knowing that you don't have to go to extremes to achieve some pretty amazing benefits from what fasting and feasting and keto-like living can do for you. So today we will be talking about endogenous and exogenous ketones. And to get us started, I'd like to just briefly define what those two things are. So endogenous ketones are the ketone bodies that your body produces when you are in a ketogenic type of state. So when your body is in ketosis, your body produces endogenous ketones. So they're the ketones that are produced by you in your body. Exogenous ketones are external ketones. So they're ketones that you would take through a supplementation, not produced by your body, but utilized by your body. And you put those in your body specifically for the benefit of getting into ketosis, but from an external source. Michael has done some pretty extensive research on exogenous versus endogenous ketones, and I'm going to have him share a little bit about what it is that he's learned and how he has benefited personally from really smartly supplementing his body with exogenous ketones. So, Michael, why don't you go ahead and share what it is that you have learned through what you've been studying?
Well, first I'd like to say a few years ago, I hadn't really heard of or studied any of this stuff. So it's been a game changer for me as far as my workouts and as far as having energy, as far as losing weight. This has definitely been a game changer. And to start out, endogenous ketones, like Diane said, that's your body producing ketones. And that's when you're tapping into your fat stores and your body produces ketones. And you're using that as an energy source. So basically, you want to look at it as what energy source are you using? Because most of us have been accustomed to using a glucose energy source, which is our sugars, which comes from our carbs. And that's, that burns really quick. And we're also really familiar with burning proteins as an energy source. And the difference would be like with sugar, that those are like it's like brush, like fine kindling, that burns really quick. And with protein is like, small branches. It'll burn a lot longer than some little twigs would burn, or kindling. Then when you get to ketones are going to burn a lot longer. You're going to get a lot longer burn from ketones. So ketones are the optimal source of fuel that we want to use not only for our bodies, but for our brain and for all of our major organs, your eyes, everything. You want to tap into ketones. So
to break it down a little bit further. So glucose is quick energy, readily available. Ketone energy, or fat burning, and ketones are a end result of burning your fat as an energy source. Ketone bodies are produced when you're actually in ketosis and you're a fat burner or keto adapted. It's sustained energy over time, And you can train your body to become fat adaptive or keto adaptive, so you burn fat more efficiently, but you have to get through or control what your glucose availability is, right?
Okay. Yeah. And then when you start getting into the exogenous ketones, like I said, I hadn't really heard of that, but when you can supplement ketones into your body, I mean, you're getting that fuel instantly. But I would have to caution you, I think you have to be careful with cheating. I mean, you don't want to cheat and go straight into like thinking that you can drink ketones and you can still eat whatever you want and you still can not sleep and, and have all these bad practices as far as your health. You do not want to do that. Exogenous ketones can be used as a tool. So if you're using it as a tool, you're going to get the most from it. And that's what I've been doing. I've been using it as a tool for my workouts, mental clarity, energy. It's been helping with a lot of aspects, and it's going to get you into that ketosis. If you're right on the edge of ketosis, it's going to get you in ketosis faster. And you can look at it, you can fight off the keto flu if you're fasting. So we intermittent fast. And if you're a faster, it could take you quite a while. What is it, like 4 days or so, or even longer to get into ketosis, and you're going to get the keto flu during that process. But if you're drinking ketones, that's going to make that process a lot easier.
Yeah, and the way I like to really describe this, or the journey that I like to see people go through, and like Michael kind of alluded to as cheating the system, is you don't want to cheat the system. So it's one of those things, when you add in a supplement, you want to make sure that you're ready for it in a sense, because adding in anything is going to be something that's additional to what your body can naturally do. So we naturally fasted and lived a keto-like lifestyle for a couple of years. And for me personally, when I was healing my body through fasting and really managing my carbohydrate load, and the only way I managed it was really through being conscious about what it was I was doing with carbohydrates. I didn't ever count macros. I've never counted calories, and I completely was able to heal my body through listening to the signs and signals that my body was sending me. And so I knew when I was keto adapted, I knew when I was fat adapted, because I experienced the energized sense of calm. But what I found for me personally, and what Michael found as well, was that when we got back into working out, we didn't feel good. We felt great when we were just living our life and we were fasting and feasting well. But when we incorporated fitness, we felt like we were like almost going too low on our tank, and that we needed a little something to boost what it is we were doing energy-wise. And because we had such success with our fasting and our feasting, we didn't want to rely on carb loading, or we didn't want to rely on carbohydrate heavy nutritional supplements that would take us out of what we worked so hard to get into. The other thing that we've really enjoyed with adding in supplementation that enhances the lifestyle that we're living is that it does enhance it. And it doesn't, we haven't lived a life where we're like, oh, we're going to cheat this because if we drink this, we're going to get this. It doesn't work that way, because you'll never, ever get your body into its own natural state of ketosis or its own natural ability to tap in your body fat, which is what you really strive for with living a keto-like lifestyle. The fasting part of it is where I really consider the healing part, and the keto-like lifestyle is really where I consider the fat-burning, physique-changing lifestyle adaptation that we've developed. And then what we've done with adding in exogenous ketones, for me, is like this. It's like an insurance plan almost, that what I'm doing in my fasting and what I'm doing in my feasting, being very keto-like, is now like almost blanketed with this insurance policy that there are going to be ketones present. Because even if I'm slightly in ketosis, or even if I'm feeling slightly fat adaptive that day, and some days I do feel it more than others, I know that I'm enhancing everything that I'm doing. And when I take exogenous ketones and I purposely put ketones into my system, I think of it as those ketones being perfectly placed where my body is lacking ketones through what I'm doing through fasting and feasting. And for me personally, and I know Michael's felt some great benefits as well in his own personal body. For me, it was that edge that I got with reducing that last little bit of inflammation. And for me, that has been my ability to run again without any stress incontinence. Even through fasting and feasting, I wasn't feeling it at that same level that I'm feeling now. And I really do think that is that last little bit of inflammation that I have gone. I just ran a 5K with my daughter, my son on Saturday, and I had zero stress incontinence. I ran with my daughter last night, zero stress incontinence. It doesn't even cross my mind anymore. And that means that I've healed whatever was going on in my body. The other part about adding in exogenous ketones that I absolutely love is that I'm hoping and praying that what I'm doing through my fasting and my feasting is going to heal my brain. But I know as a 52-year-old woman and what I was suffering 3 years ago, and the fact that my body is just not good with sugar, and what I've seen with my grandmother and my mother as far as dementia and Alzheimer's, is that I'm desperate to keep my brain healthy. And because exogenous ketones do pass that blood-brain barrier, I drink ketones at night now in place of wine, because wine is doing nothing for my brain and ketones are doing everything for my brain. And it is that visualization I have, which is what I teach women. When you're taking any sort of supplementation, or you're eating something, or you're exercising, you want to have the mindset and the visualization about what's going on in your body. And so when Michael and I sit down at night to watch a movie and have a glass of something, we make ketones for ourselves, because I know that when I drink ketones before I go to bed, that those ketones are going to go straight to my brain, and they're going to give my brain its preferred fuel, and it's going to work on healing my brain as I'm sleeping. And Michael and I have been monitoring our sleep on the nights that we drink ketones before we go to bed, and our depth of sleep has been amazing. So not only are we getting a good night's sleep, but we're getting a deep, restful, reparative type of sleep, because our body can actually get into that level. And so improved sleep, mental clarity, healing of your brain, because your brain is getting its preferred fuel source, reduced inflammation, better mood, better energy from working out. And so all of those things that we were feeling at like this level with our fasting and feasting, we're now feeling at this level because we put that extra layer of exogenous ketones on top of our endogenous ketones.
And let me add on something about the energy part. Energy's, it's obvious, right? Yeah, everybody wants more energy. But I think the energy is twofold. Like, not only do you feel energized, but when it comes to working out, I know for me personally, and I think a lot of people, I know Diane would probably feel the same way. It's like, when it comes to working out, I don't care who you are or how much you work out. Sometimes you just don't have the energy for that. It's like, you know what? I've been working all day, or you've been running kids back and forth to school, or doing activity. You're exhausted, and like, you just don't have energy. Like, you feel like that's the last thing you want to do is work out. And I think adding ketones has helped us with that part of our energy level. Like, man, I can't wait to work out. I mean, I feel like I need to work something off. Like, I feel really energized. So I think that part of energy has really helped with the workouts, because, like I said, having energy is one thing, but having energy to work out is a huge plus.
Right. And I think what you're describing is the energized sense of calm, and that's what we get when we get through the keto flu. And that's what we feel and get when we are fat and keto adaptive. But that feeling can come and go depending on what your lifestyle is. And Michael and I have always been very honest about the fact that we live a keto-like lifestyle, and that we don't dwindle down our carbs so that we are living a ketogenic type of diet at all. We don't want to be on a diet. We've done that before. And so we pick and choose where we want our carbs to come in. And there's some days that we have higher carb loads than we do other days that we have lower carb loads. And what taking in exogenous ketones have done for us is allows us to pick when and where we want to have our energized sense of calm. So when we drink exogenous ketones and we perfectly place ketones into our system, we experience the energized sense of calm at will. not like we have to hope for it. And it comes pretty quick, and it comes pretty even keel, because we're already living in a state of endogenous ketones. So there's already that level of keto adaptation. We can just take it to the next level. It really does help also when you get back into fitness after you've been fasting and feasting a while. I know for me, when I started working out again after my fasting and feasting for about a year, I went through some really, really tough days of hunger hormones coming back really severely, feeling super fatigued. I had about a month or so where I was losing my hair because my carbohydrate load got so low, and I was expending more calories and energy than my body had experienced when I wasn't working out. And so I got a little, I don't want to necessarily say sick, but it was just robbing my body of more than my body was willing to give up. And so I had to take a step back. And what I have found with all of the food intolerances that I have, and now we have a pretty set up way in which we put nutrients in our body, I didn't want to have to depend on carbohydrates to fuel my workouts. And so for me, it was a choice thing. I can do this or I can do this. And the first this was the carbohydrates I used to take when I wanted to work out. And I love to run, and I love to cycle, and I love to be active for an hour, hour and a half. That's what drives me. That takes a considerable amount of energy from my body to be able to withstand that. And I didn't want to have to go back to eating oatmeal and waffles and some of those other things I relied on before. I would rather put exogenous ketones in my body and have the ketones fuel what it was that I wanted to do in my athletic performance. And I do like to consider myself athletic when I do participate in my physical activities. And to be able to perform like an athlete, you need to fuel your body like an athlete. And so I have just chosen to do that through what my body works best on, and that happens to be ketones. Would you feel the same?
Yeah. And when you start talking about endogenous ketones, you have to realize that if your body's going to produce ketones and you're going to go into your fat stores, you really have to think about, like, are you really living a ketogenic style diet? Because you can do it that way, or you can do it through fasting, and fasting just kind of puts your body in shock.
Good shock.
In a good shock. But if you're not really living a keto, and a lot of people out there now saying that they're keto because it's popular. They go, look, I'm eating this. This is a keto food, and look, this is on my keto plan.
Fat bomb.
But are you really living a keto style life? I mean, that's why we say keto light, because we don't live that life. And if you're going to tap into your own ketones, then you have to be really consistent with that keto diet, which, I mean, more power to you if you're doing that, and it's possible, but are you really living that? If you're really not living that way, then you're probably causing yourself more harm than good. So you have to really take a serious look at that.
Yeah, and it could take one weekend or one Friday night or one event out where you're like, oh, I'm not going to eat that way. And it could take 2 to 3 weeks for your body to get back into a state of nutritional ketosis. And so, then you have to go through that again of 2 weeks of not being in that level, where putting in exogenous ketones with endogenous ketones can actually get you back into that state a little bit faster.
With intermittent fasting.
Right. And so exogenous ketones are beta hydroxybutyrate salts, which is one of the 3 types of ketones that our body produces when we are in a state of ketosis. And beta hydroxybutyrate salt, I'm reading from something that's describing what beta hydroxybutyrate is. They can be most effective for energy, both during exercise or when the body is at rest. So remember, when your body's at rest, it's still producing energy, right? Because that's when your body is really repairing a lot of its systems, and your body is metabolizing a lot of things that you put in it during the day. And that's why we have decided to pick, just a few nights a week that we drink beta hydroxybutyrate salts before we go to bed, because we want our body's energy systems during repair to be at their best. And the mornings that we wake up post exogenous ketone supplementation versus having a glass of wine, we don't even do glasses of wine at night anymore because we wake up and feel so bad. We wake up feeling amazing. And I can tell when I have put too many carbohydrates in my body. I describe it as my brain feeling tired and weak. And when I reverse that way of living and really supplement with really good quality fats and supplement with exogenous ketones, my brain is strong and it feels alive. And there is a distinct difference between those two feelings. And if you've suffered those initial stages of brain fog and loss of cognitive abilities, and you can't remember where your keys are, and you can't remember your kids' names, like I've been through before, when your brain has a day where it feels weak and it feels tired, it's scary, because you know what the future holds for you if you don't take action and get that fixed. And so I don't let those days happen very often. They sometimes happen on accident. And my first reaction now is to get some vitamins in my brain for my brain. And that happens to be what I'm doing with my ketones. And the very next day, my brain feels alert and it feels strong, and I feel confident about what my future holds as far as my brain goes. And that is a very different feeling than feeling scared and worried if I'm going to have a brain that's going to be working 10 or 15 years from now.
And it's important to point out, if you do want to have that night where you have the beer and you have the pizza, I feel like with intermittent fasting and having your ketones, you're going to balance out a lot quicker than if you're trying to do a strict keto diet, because you can't break up that keto diet. I mean, you can, but like Diane said, it's going to take you a long time to get back on track. But with intermittent fasting and drinking our ketones and working out, I feel like I'm like this fast, I can get right back to, I mean, like if we had a Friday night date night or Saturday night date night or whatever, it's not going to kill me.
Right. And they also help with, because I talked about how I tried to work out with just living a keto-like lifestyle and my fasting, and I didn't have the energy and stamina like I like to have. I'm self-competitive, so I like to work out really hard when I work out. I like to work out like an athlete, and I think like an athlete when I'm working out. So when you don't have that energy that goes with your determination, it gets really frustrating. And what I really notice with supplementing with exogenous ketones is that I'm game ready, and my recovery is so much better. I don't have muscle soreness. I don't have muscle fatigue. So you can go consecutive days of working out pretty intensely without feeling like your body is fatigued or it's not ready to show up for the game, which I really loved as well. So it does really help with reducing lactic acid buildup and really helps your body's own amino acids do what it is that they need to do to repair and recover your body. Another great thing that we've talked about, with intermittent fasting and living a keto-like lifestyle is what we get from our human growth hormone and how it is that we can really sustain lean muscle mass at any age, because our human growth hormone production is so elevated. And putting exogenous ketones in your body really does help with that as well, because a lot of times when we get into that really severe or strict carbohydrate type of living, and that can happen through reduction of nutrition or an increase of energy expenditure, right? So if we severely reduce our carbohydrate intake and we increase what it is we're asking from our body, we can really put ourselves in a position of creating some metabolic damage. And what exogenous ketones can do for you is help level that out. So what you're expecting from your body will be fueled by what it is that you're supplementing with. And it doesn't put you at risk of metabolic damage because you're putting the right fuel in your body to sustain the energy levels that you're asking for your body. So it's a win-win in so many areas.
And if you think about it, we're talking about endogenous ketones and exogenous ketones. You know what this spells for the food industry?
Disaster.
This is a disaster for them. So be wary. You're going to see some reports probably come out I wouldn't doubt in the near future about how this is not good, because this is going to kill their industry. Because think about it. If you can produce ketones on your own, you don't need to be eating a bunch of crazy fast food, snack foods, any of that stuff. And there's people that lobby for these huge companies for you to live that way. And what's life going to be like when, you can produce your own ketones and you can drink your own ketones. I mean, producing your own, you have to buy nothing, right? You buy some ketones, you're still saving money because you're not snacking and fast food, and you're just not spending as much on groceries. I mean, we don't spend as much on groceries anymore.
Right. And we've talked about the book that we read, the Keto Reset Diet, where we read chapter 3, which was about exogenous ketones and endurance athletes and how runners are really switching their methodology for nutrition as well, like marathon runners and a lot of these, what's the other one that people do that's really like it's
like
not triathlon, but those endurance type sports. Yeah, Ironman and stuff like that. And how they're turning to ketone supplementation as opposed to a lot of those gel packs that they were using and a lot of sugary type of carbohydrate things, because their body can withstand the endurance aspect of it so much better, sustain it, and have an energy source that's leveled out, as opposed to these type of things when you're in an endurance sport. And I know for myself, the first time I trained for a half marathon, I did carbohydrate training as far as my nutrition goes, and it was horrible. And I ended up with so much body fat at the end because I can't handle that type of macro in my body in big amounts. And then the second time I trained for a half marathon, I used different supplementation. I didn't rely on ketones. I just used an energy type of drink with some caffeine in it and some electrolytes. And I did so much better. And I didn't put on the body fat. My energy was sustained. I didn't hit a wall. And it was just a methodology change of how I was going to supplement my body through a 2-hour type of athletic event. And it was night and day as far as what I could do. So now for my running as well, and what I'm doing on the spin bike, I am supplementing with ketones because energy-wise, it's just a much more sustained level. So we got some questions here. I'm going to go ahead and answer them. Robin, my mom lived until she was 96, but had the beginning stages of dementia. I don't want that for myself. Yeah. And here's the great thing is that, there's no cure for dementia, but there is some treatment. And one of the things that you can do is really make sure that you're not overloading your brain with sugar, and that you're putting really good quality nutrition in your body so that your brain is fueled by what it prefers to be fueled by. And ketones they're like the difference between, a low grade gasoline in your car and a premium grade gasoline in your car. Your car's just going to run more efficiently if it has better quality stuff in it. And the same thing goes with our bodies and our brains. It's more specifically is you have to feed your brain. And so often we forget that our brain needs to be fed and it needs to be fed some quality stuff. Is the Keto Calm what you drink before bed? No, Yvonne, we drink pure Keto OS Max, but we do the uncharged before we go to bed. I tried the Keto Calm. It was okay, but I didn't like the way I felt up the next day as much as I did when I did a full dose of uncharged Keto OS Max exogenous ketones. So I don't do the Calm personally myself. Now I might in the wintertime, maybe as opposed to having a cold drink, I'd rather have a hot cup of tea or something. But what I have found is the OS Max works best for my brain. It makes me feel the best in the morning when I wake up. Do your kids drink the ketones as well? Yes, they totally do because their brain needs fuel too. And they want to do well in school. My daughter is a little bit on the, she's not diagnosed ADD, but she can act like that when she has too much sugar or too many carbs in her body, and none of us can handle carbohydrates very well. So we have them drink them on occasion, not every day. But when my daughter gets back in school to help her focus on her homework, we are definitely going to have her drink some ketones so that she stays focused and that her brain stays strong as well. Definitely no need to not have kids. There's no warning signs or anything for kids to not have the opportunity to drink them, for sure. From Chicago, ketones arrived today. When should I take if I'm reducing my workouts to yoga and walking versus spin classes, weightlifting, and step classes? Well, Robin, congratulations. I'm super helpful. I'm super glad that your ketones came today. I would say reconsider stepping down from your spin classes and your step classes and stuff. I think putting the ketones into your day is going to make you feel like you can actually handle those. So unless you're injured or something, I would say definitely drink your ketones and reconsider stepping down from some of those exercise exercises that maybe you like. Take them. If they're caffeinated, I always say take them before maybe noon if you have a problem metabolizing caffeine, and maybe take them on days when you don't have coffee and test it out. If you don't have any problem metabolizing caffeine, Michael and I don't have a problem metabolizing caffeine, we can take them whenever. Our body seems to work through it. The uncharged we take in place of a cocktail or a glass of wine at night, and we drink them in a fancy glass on the couch watching the show.
I've even had to charge at night.
Yeah, he had to charge at night, and he sleeps like a baby. So you have to play around with them and find what works better for your own body's metabolism and how you'll break them down, for sure. Okay, so here's a little side note I always like to say in these types of discussions. Yes, if you knew me or were with me a year to a year and a half ago, I was totally against exogenous ketones. And I expressed that last Friday when we talked as well. I ate a little crow on that when I became certified as an exercise nutrition coach, because I really now understand the features and benefits of exogenous ketones when you're living an intermittent fasting and keto-like lifestyle, and you want to take your ketone levels up to the next notch. Basically, you want to amp them up. What I was seeing when I first started seeing exogenous ketones in the fitness arena were people cheating the system, which I am always, always, always against. You can't cheat nutrition, and you can't cheat your body systems, and you can't cheat your health. So if you're going to make a decision to put your money down on supplementation, you really should think about what the other things are that you're doing in your life. Are you doing this out of desperation? Are you doing this out of a quick fix? Do you understand how these supplements are going to work in your body? And are you going to treat them with the, respect or whatever that they deserve to have when you put them in your body? And are you going to treat your body with the same respect? You should use them as an enhancement to an already healthy lifestyle, not a hope and a prayer that it's going to get you through living a crappy nutritional life. They will not do that. You're basically wasting your money. So what you want to do if you're considering taking your fitness or your IF keto lifestyle to the next level is, are you making an investment into something that's going to enhance what you're already doing, as opposed to just spending money hoping that something's going to come in and save you?
And it's probably a great idea when you say, Diane, to experience endogenous ketones first. You should experience that to see what that feels like. When you start tapping into your own ketones, you should experience that first and see what it feels like and see how your body reacts to that. Then think about supplementing later. Right. But if you have no idea, you've never even experienced being in a fat adaptive state, then you probably should experience that first, because you want to use exogenous ketones as a tool. And if you can use it as a tool, they're awesome. But if you know nothing about it, like Diane said, you just want to slam some ketones because you want to cheat the system and you're going to keep eating all kinds of carbs, you're not changing anything, then you're not going to, most people want to lose weight. You're not going to lose any weight. Right. And nothing's going to change. And you're going to go, well, this is a bunch of crap. This doesn't work. Yeah, it didn't work. It didn't work for you, and it won't work for you. Right,
because you use it as a crutch and not a tool. Yeah. And that's really why in my intermittent fasting for today's aging woman course, I always suggest that you take all of your supplements out of your day for if in the least the 3 weeks that you're in the course. Because when's the last time you woke up on your own? And when's the last time you went to sleep on your own? And when's the last time you went through an entire day without either forcing yourself up or forcing yourself down? And can you really understand and identify the signs and signals of what it is to be tired and what it is to be energized and what it is to be in an energized sense of calm without being stimulated? And when you really can understand how your own body systems work, then you can, with an educated mind and an experienced mind, make really sound decisions for what you need to supplement with, as opposed to just doing it because Betty down the street do it or just because Fred said it's a good thing to do. No, you really should do your research and understand how to put the right supplements in your body at the right time. And not everyone is a supplement person, and not everyone needs to supplement. It should really be a personal choice. And do you want to take what it is you're doing to the next level? And if you do, then supplementation is really something you should consider to go hand in hand with what it is you're already doing to live a healthy and fulfilling life.
And you're going to love it if you're using it as a tool. But if you're not, and it's a crutch, not so much.
Yeah, Yvonne, I take ketones every day because I intermittent fast and live a keto-like lifestyle every day. So I take them, and I'm working out probably 5 to 6 days a week also. So I do take them for my workout. And then I take them at night 3 or 4 times a week just for therapeutic use. I mean, literally what I do at night is just for my brain health and my sleep specifically, to make sure I get into that deep healing sleep. But I take them every day for a pre-workout. It does dirty up my fast, and I am totally okay with that because of the fact that I'm working out. So if I am not working out, what I'll do is I'll push my ketones up to a later part of my day, and I will break my fast with them. If I'm working out, I take them 30 minutes before I work out, and it really does enhance what I'm doing in my workout and doesn't break my body down because I'm fueling it with what it needs.
And I'll give you a good example of what I'm doing today. I'm like I guess I'm at like about 21 hours on this current fast, and I'm going to have my ketones, and I'll work out as soon as we get done with this, and I will have a good workout. But otherwise, on a 21-hour fast, there's no way. I just mentally, first of all, I wouldn't have the energy mentally to do it. And then, but with having the ketones, I can definitely jump into to a good workout now and not have any issues at all.
Right. And the cool thing about that, especially for us women, is when you are fasting, and then you take your exogenous ketones and you go into a workout, visualize like how efficient your body is going to be at burning off your fat. And that's really what a lot of us are gearing toward. And that if you're in my course, my F3 course, we talk a lot about mindset, right? And so when I take my ketones right before I work out and I'm fasted otherwise, that is a great opportunity for my body to use pure fat as its energy source. And that's really what we want to have. So it doesn't really matter in a sense, like what it is you're doing for fitness. You don't have to have the perfect HIIT workout, or you don't have to have the perfect run, or you don't have to have the perfect whatever. Just work out, just monitor your heart rate and get a really great workout in, and visualize what it is you're doing with your body. So you make that mind and muscle connection, and your ketones will take care of the rest. So you really do have an opportunity to get more bang for your buck, so to speak, with what it is you're doing with your fitness, because your ketones are there to do the work for you. Yvonne, also, if you have ketones in the morning, ketones in your system all day, or does it burn off after training? Well, it all kind of depends, Yvonne, on what you do after your workout. So if you stay fasted and you just burn through any glycogen stores that you have through your workout, which is what we do in our workout anyways, the first thing we burn is glycogen stores, and then we get into fat adaptation. So if you start your workout fasted, you have a little insulin response because of what you've done with your ketone drink, you'll burn through that pretty quickly. So you have that immediate source of energy, which is a get out of the gate quick kind of feeling.
Then protein.
Yeah. Yeah, but you're not burning protein in the sense that you're going to eat away your muscles. It's just whatever is available. If you're living a low to moderate protein lifestyle, there shouldn't be a whole lot available extra there either. And then you get right into that fat burning. So you go through the same cycles of energy expenditure. You just get through the first phases so much quicker and so much more efficiently, and then you sustain it through having the level of ketones in your body where you're actually in ketosis, which is what we want to have. June, I've been working out without breaking a fast, not processing. I don't get what you're saying there.
You missed one.
I did what? Oh, sign up for the next course tomorrow. Can't wait. Desi, I think your name is. Awesome. Can't wait for you to join with us. So if you're joining us tomorrow for the intermittent fasting for today's Aging Woman course, don't be shocked when I tell you to not use supplementation. And I do ask you, if at all possible, to give up your workouts for a couple weeks and really let your body settle into fasting and feasting well. and identifying what some of those signs and signals your body's trying to send you when you really have the energy and the mindset to pay attention to it. And then when you get done, think about what it is that you're putting in your body, and is that going to enhance or detour what it is that you want to do in the long run with your fasting, feasting, and healing your body. I know for Michael and I, it's taken us to the absolute next level. We love it. I do openly admit, yes, I ate crow on this a little bit because it was the same thing I saw when I first started researching intermittent fasting, and I saw it done all the wrong ways. And I didn't want to encourage that. Now that I have had some education and some personal experience, and I have seen it modeled in a different way, and we are modeling it now in a different way, we highly recommend it for those who are ready to take it to the next level and can make the personal investment in themselves and will honor and respect that investment they're making in themselves to make sure that they are using ketones in a responsible way, I guess would be the best way to say it.
And you ate crow because you really don't know until you experience it.
Right.
You experience it and you have success with it. You're like, okay, that works. Otherwise, it's just a supplement. There's a lot of supplements out there, and we've tried a lot, and they don't all work. So we didn't really know. I mean, we read stuff, but we didn't really know till we actually experienced it.
And it took me a while too, because I did have some exogenous ketone products that I was experimenting with to see what the heck all the hype was about. And it took me a long time to find one where the ingredients were appropriate. So there were a lot of keto type supplementations that had carrageenan in them. It had a lot of iffy type of ingredients. And so I kept digging and kept digging and kept digging until we found a company and a product that we felt confident with putting it in our own body. We felt confident putting it in our kids' body. And we feel confident sharing with the community of people that trust us. And so that's where we stand today, with a company that we really do trust and really can put our reputation behind and our bodies behind, right? Because we're not going to put anything in our body that's not going to enhance the level that we want to go to with our own health and fitness and where we are today in our 50s.
Becky's asking you a question.
Are you still sending out your 10-day experience? Yes. So if you would like to purchase a 10-day sample packet from us, Kara, if you can put the link up there, or you guys can email us, we'll send it to you. The way I like to explain the 10-day experience pack is like this. One of the big hangups people have, or reservations they have about purchasing a product, is flavor and taste. So we have put together 10-day experience packs that we try to give you a variety of flavors to sample so that you can find the flavor that you like. Ultimately, what you really want to do is experience ketones in your system for a good 30 or 60 days. You want to see what it's like to have that constant ketone level present in your body and experience what it's going to do for you sleep-wise, and what it's going to do for you energy-wise, and what it's going to do for you workout-wise, hunger-wise, all of the things that we are really trying to manage living this IF keto-like lifestyle. And so the 10-day experience pack is really just a flavor sampling, and the real intent is for you to get yourself into a system where you're using ketones on a regular basis. The beautiful thing about intermittent fasting and living a keto-like lifestyle and really being conscious about what it is you're doing in your everyday life is that you should be in a position where you've noticed that you're saving a lot of money by cutting out a lot of really useless food products as fillers. And that's where we really found a nice gap for ourselves, where we could justify putting ketones into our day, because for us, it's just a replacement of some of the crap we took out. So we took out a bunch of crap, we're saving money there, and we're investing in our health by putting something in our body that's going to keep us at the level that we want to be at with our brain, our energy, our sleep, our mood, and our fitness. And so it's an investment, and it was just a reversal of some spending and an investment in new spending. Yvonne, I still love my IF. So glad I started IFing over a year ago. Yeah, Yvonne, us too. I don't think we would ever do it any other way. So Becky, you can email me and we'll get you some information about the experience packs. And then Kara put the link to the website. You can go check out ketones. Michael, from your personal experience, what would you say your favorite flavor of the Keto OS Max is?
Oh, God, it would have to probably be the Maui Punch.
So he likes Maui Punch. I'm a raspberry lemonade person, and
I like that one too, though.
And all the other flavors are just sort of like whatever to us. So if you want to purchase, like if you want to just go all in and get yourself started in 30 days, I would say Maui Punch or raspberry lemonade would be the two that we would suggest. They're most mainstream in flavor. And then the only other thing to decide is charged versus uncharged. Charged would be caffeine, and that's the caffeine equivalent of a regular sized cup of coffee. So whatever you would pour for yourself in the morning is about how much caffeine that is. And then the uncharged has no caffeine. What we love about the company that we're with and the ketones that we're using is that they want you to stay on a system and a routine of putting ketone supplementation into your body every day. So they have a really great way of making that affordable option for people, and that's their Smart Ship program. So when you order ketones through our site, the ifketo.com site, if you choose Today and Smart Ship, when you place your order, you'll see on there that your second month and subsequent month orders are discounted by 22%. So that brings your ketones down to, I think, just about $100, if not just a little bit under $100 a month, which is awesome. So the Smart Ship way is the way to go for sure. And then when you get your 4th month shipment on your Smart Ship program, they send you an entire box of ketones free. So that's $130 of ketones as a thank you gift for choosing to supplement your body consistently over time with exogenous ketones. So it's a really great way to stay ketogenic, right? Or stay in ketosis. And we love that part about this company is that they're very generous and they really want to have an educated community of people. They're great about sharing information about ketones and a committed community of people. And that's really what we have been loving about being partnered up with such a great company. So definitely feel Heart Tart is your favorite. Yeah, there you go, Becky.
That's a good one too.
So what does Heart Tart taste sort of like? Is it like a sweet tart kind of taste?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they are sweet in nature. So I drink mine through a straw when I use mine as a pre-workout formula. And when you order an experience pack from us, we do send out a video on how to make your ketones. So you'll get some information from us on how to make ketones. When I work out, I make mine in about this much water and I suck them down through a straw really fast. And I want to get them in my system and I get into my workout. Michael drinks his more leisurely and has more water in his, so his is a little bit more diluted. So it's just one of those things that you can't get it wrong unless you don't get them in. So just figure out however much water it is you need to make yours palatable for you. And then the most important thing is to just get them in your system every day, right?
Absolutely.
Awesome. So we hope that explains the difference between endogenous and exogenous ketones for you. Remember, endogenous are the ketones that your body naturally produces when you put your body in a ketogenic type of state. Exogenous ketones are ketones that you put inside of your body and perfectly place ketones where your body needs them. You can use them as a workout enhancing type of thing, a sleep aid, a mood aid, or just a general overall energized sense of calm that you can put on your body anytime you get your ketones in you.
And there's a lot of great research on this right now. So especially with exogenous ketones, because it's pretty new. And if you research it, there's tons of information and it's still developing. There's still a lot of great stuff coming out about it. So
yeah,
check it out.
Do your research for sure. And if you have any questions, always feel free to reach out with us. If you would like to try a 10-day experience pack, just email us and we will definitely get those out to you. But our ultimate goal is to make sure that you guys understand that you really, really want to get some ketone therapy in you with time and consistency so you'll be able to reap the long-term benefits that they provide as well. Awesome. Thanks for joining us today, you guys. Have a super fantastic weekend. We will see you somewhere around social media this weekend. And if you have any questions, just email us. We'll get back to you as soon as we can.
All right. Have a great weekend.